This IHSA Championship event is presented by Country Companies Insurance. When it matters most, the country's behind you. And by Pepsi, the joy of cola.
A very pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Naperville Central High School, where tonight the IHSA will crown the 1999 Girls State Soccer Champion. Hi again, everyone. I'm Steve Olkin, alongside Steve Davidson, an IHSA soccer official and rules aficionado. He knows it all. Tonight, St. Charles vies for its fourth consecutive state championship up against the Lincoln Way Knights. And Steve, this should be a heck of a match.
It's going to be a terrific game. Two very disciplined teams and top programs. I'm sure everybody expected the St. Charles Saints to be here since day one, and the Lincoln Way Knights have really improved throughout the season. A much better team than 6 losses would typically indicate.
For Lincoln Way, they got to the state championship this way. They beat Sandburg 1-0 in the Super Sectionals. In the quarterfinals on Friday, beat previously undefeated Maine South 4-1, and then in the semifinals over Quincy on Saturday, the final of 4-0. And Lincoln Way is led by
2 key players and 1 big question mark tonight. They have Denise Peck, who is nursing an eye injury she suffered in the Super Sectional game, and Kim Jedlow, 2 prolific goal scorers, great players, and keys to their success.
And we had a chance to visit with Brian Papa and get his keys on tonight's game.
I feel that defense, our defense has to come up to step up. The last time we played St. Charles, they took it to us. They scored 6 goals. We remember that. If we can control the midfield and our defense does solid as it has been the last couple of days, we'll be fine.
Back in early April, it was St. Charles over Lincoln Way 6-2, but I think both teams have kind of forgotten about that.
Absolutely. The St. Charles Saints started off the season by finishing an 88-game unbeaten streak, had that snapped, and all they did is turn around and finish the season with 16 consecutive games without a loss.
For St. Charles, they got here this way. They beat Friend in the Super Sectionals, again in the rematch 4-0, and then in the quarterfinals on Friday over Peoria Notre Dame handily 7-0. The semifinals, a terrific game on Saturday over Naperville North 1-0, and St. Charles has a lot of terrific players.
A lot of depth on this team, but they're led by 2 key players. Ann Poulin's 13 goals on the season, and Becky Myers, who's headed for Stanford University, 20 goals on the season for the Fighting Saints.
Joe Moreau, the head coach at St. Charles, has won title after title. His keys to tonight's game.
I think we need to pressure their backs. They like to play a very finesse game, and if we pressure their backs, that will cause them to try to bang the ball forward, and that would be a big difference. And we need to get long, good balls crossed off and a lot of corner kicks because we're very strong in the air. And Lincoln Way's not as strong in the air. They're a very, very finesse team. Katie Conway's job will be mark down Kim Jedlow. She's one of the best players in the state. That's going to be a major key.
So it's Joe Moreau and St. Charles against Brian Papa and Lincoln Way for the state championship. We'll have the starting lineups and the opening kickoff next on Fox Sports Net Chicago. And welcome back to Naperville Central High School, getting set for the Girls State Soccer Championship. Steve Olkin, Steve Davidson with you. St. Charles, again, trying for its 4th consecutive title, 7th this decade. Forget about a Bulls dynasty. It's a St. Charles dynasty. And for Lincoln Way, 22-6-1, first ever appearance in the state finals. And Steve, obviously the pressure on St. Charles a little bit going for the title, but for Lincoln Way, they're here, and hey, listen, they got nothing to, really worry about. They're just going to try to play as hard as they can. Here's the starting lineup for Lincoln Way.
It's a solid lineup up and down. You've got a goalkeeper in Emily Nikonchuk, 28 goals allowed in 27 games. Not bad for a freshman goalkeeper, showing a lot of courage and not much nerves down the stretch. He's done a good job in the nets for the Knights.
There you see Emily as we get set for St. Charles, and of course, led by many, including Becky Myers, the Country Company's starting lineup, and Becky Myers, the key to watch out for tonight in St. Charles.
Becky Myers, All-State, 2-time All-State player, headed for Stanford University. They've also got not 1 but 4 players in their starting lineup that are Iowa-bound for the Iowa Hawkeyes. So a lot of college-bound talent, a lot of experienced players, but it's a loaded program. Joe Moreau's going to have the luxury of 15 returning lettermen next season.
Lexi Stormo is the starting goalie for St. Charles, and she has been sensational in 1999, has allowed just 11 goals in 23 games. And now you said when a percentage is less than 1, that's very good.
And in her case, it's less than half a goal a game, which is phenomenal, and she's got not 1 but 2 seasons to try to improve on that for the Fighting Saints.
It's a sophomore goalie for St. Charles, a freshman goalie for Lincoln Way, but still a lot of leadership in the middle. And again, for St. Charles, and you talk about a dynasty trying for the 4th in a row and 7th this decade, you look into the millennium, and it just keeps getting better. They have 15 players coming back for St. Charles. They only lose 6 players, so you figure that St. Charles has a great chance of being here next year.
Joe Moreau is doing a lot of great things with this program. They train aggressively year-round. They develop players on an annual basis. 132 wins to go with only 5 losses and 7 ties. And incidentally, Coach Brian Papa at Lincoln Way also was going for career win number 133 tonight. One of them is going to get it. One of them is going to have to wait until September.
St. Charles, it's no surprise that they're here, really. I've been kind of following this over the last couple of weeks and watching the progress of St. Charles, and then you watch as the playoffs started, just the total domination that St. Charles had throughout the playoffs, outscoring their opponents 49-1. I don't care what sport. When you got a 49-1 differential, that's good.
That's very good, and you're not going to do much better than that. A lot of people, I think, were curious what was going to happen when that prolific streak of 88 games being unbeaten finally ended against the Fremd Vikings. And all St. Charles did is said, well, we got to regroup. We got to concentrate on what we're doing, and they finished the season just as strong. 16 consecutive games unbeaten, and as you said, 49 goals for, only 1 allowed in the state series. You can't do much better than that.
You had a chance to see St. Charles in the semifinal match on Saturday morning, and Susanna Rivers won it with a goal about the 3.5 minutes to go in regulation. I'm amazed at the stamina of some of these players and the athletes we have on the field, because they obviously a very hard-fought game this morning. They come back on Saturday night and have to do it all over again.
Well, it's not often that a team is asked to win 2 games in a single day, much less to finish the season in a championship format. But to the credit of these coaches, a lot of their scheduling now during the season concentrates on tournaments where they're forced to play 3 games in 2 days and often 2 games in a single day. And in conditions similar to this, we've got a very warm, humid evening here in Naperville. Temperatures still hovering in the low 80s, only a very slight breeze. So the fitness level could certainly be a factor as the game progresses.
Coaches take that into consideration? Do they do a little more substituting?
Absolutely, and I think not both teams. St. Charles was in a very, very difficult semifinal game. I think Joe Moreau, to his credit, found time for a minute here, a minute there for some of his key players to catch their breath. But they were out there for very close to 80 minutes. Brian Papa had the luxury of getting some of his starting players out of the game in the second half. The downfall for Lincoln Way is they played that second semifinal, so that is, of course, 2 hours later and under a very hot sun this afternoon here in Naperville.
Does Lincoln Way, do they try to just kind of set the pace of the game and not do everything in the first 10 minutes of this game and just kind of let the game come to them?
Well, I think a lot of teams would say, well, we're going to see what they do and we'll react and we'll try to find a way to stop them. To Lincoln Way's credit, Brian Papa has developed some very skilled players, especially in the back line. If they're able to work the ball out of the back line, frustrate St. Charles a little bit, hold on to the ball, maybe possess the ball for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 passes at a time, and build some offense, you might see St. Charles being in an unusual situation of having to defend and having to react to what their opponents are doing. And that's definitely one of the keys to tonight's game. So we'll have to see from the onset how Lincoln Way decides to play it. But if they do come out and try to work the ball out of the back, I think it could be a very, very close match all the way to the end.
And for St. Charles, and again, a very tough match today, 1-0 in the semifinals. Do they come out and try to establish supremacy early and not give Lincoln Way any chance at all or any feeling at all that they're going to be in this match?
I think that's a key. You've got so many prolific goal scorers, so much firepower out there on the field for St. Charles, and any one of those student athletes could strike at any time. So a goal early in the match would certainly do very well for St. Charles to reestablish that momentum, that assertiveness that they are the team to beat, the team to be reckoned with.
Talked about the St. Charles, and again, as you see the starting lineups being introduced, good crowd on hand tonight, by the way, as soccer just continues to grow, and not only on the high school level, but, Steve, on all levels now.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic year for soccer in the United States, especially for women's soccer. A number of big events. In addition to the high schools, which continues to grow, they're getting very close to dividing girls soccer into a 2-level system where you'd have the small schools, Class A, and the large schools, AA, having their own tournaments, following the lead of boys soccer just a couple of years ago. And that's probably just a couple of years away. So you've got the girls program continuing to grow at the high school level. You have more and more universities across the country adding women's soccer and very competitive programs. You don't have to look far. The Big Ten Conference has already established itself as a superpower in women's soccer. And, of course, just a few weeks away, the quadrennial World Cup tournament comes to the United States and to the great city of Chicago. 2 doubleheaders at the end of the month on June 24th and June 26th. 4 top international teams coming to Soldier Field. So it's a great year for soccer, and even better soccer to come.
And Mia Hamm in the U.S. team, and of course you see Mia going up against Michael Jordan in the commercials. And I understand there's some 50,000 tickets already sold for the U.S. game at Soldier Field. So it's coming on strong. It really is.
Absolutely. 400,000 tickets total have been sold for the tournament, and 50,000 for that first doubleheader at Soldier Field in Chicago. So soccer has certainly arrived, and for the women's game, it has certainly grown. It has exploded. It's really doing well.
And again, on all levels, too, I have the fortunate situation of having my son in soccer. He's 5 years old, and he loves the sport, and it just starts at that age, and it works its way up, and soccer is coming on, and we'll see how it progresses as you move into the next millennium. There you see St. Charles huddling up as, again, St. Charles, the Fighting Saints, going up against the Knights. Got a couple of good nickname schools in this one tonight.
Yes, I'm anticipating a much more friendly and skilled game than the team nicknames might otherwise indicate.
There you see Lincoln Way with the final huddle and final words from their captains and the coach. And again, you got to feel some butterflies a little bit for these young ladies who have never been in this type of spotlight before.
I think that's expected. On the other hand, they did reach the Final Four last year and lost in the semifinals and finished in 4th place. It's a good look at our referee for tonight's game, Jim Mitchell from the Bloomington area, very experienced soccer referee who's been working the IHSA game for a number of years, and his assistant referees lined up with him. Tonight they're going to be Randy Crady, who's also from Central Illinois, from the Metamora area, and his other colleague will be Ben Boom, who hails from the Rockford area.
We are just about set and ready to go. 80 minutes to decide the state soccer champion. Girls soccer for 1999, maybe more, who knows. We'll have 10-minute overtimes if indeed we get to that. St. Charles will have opening possession as we are set. Make sure the officials are ready to go. Timekeeper is ready to go. 40 minutes on the clock. Of course, continuous clock unless we have an injury. Patrice Follner is in the middle. And there's our opening kick, and we are underway here at Naperville Central. Steve Olkin, Steve Davidson bringing you the action on Fox Sports Net Chicago. Lincoln Way in the black, and St. Charles in the orange with the black trim.
Very quick start for St. Charles. That kickoff play proved to accomplish 2 things. One, obviously push the ball very deep into Lincoln Way's territory, but with St. Charles getting the throw in, they get the first opportunity to build their offense.
And back out of bounds once again. We'll have a throw in for St. Charles. Again, interesting to see, Steve, how St. Charles handles this first 10 minutes. And now you see Lincoln Way bringing it into St. Charles territory. And back into the middle of the field. And St. Charles will try to set something up, but Lincoln Way back on the run. Shelley Soderberg. And back out to the middle. And once again, here comes St. Charles here on the near side.
That's the pass they're looking for. They get it out to the wing quickly to the forwards.
And Sarah Lynch with the first minor threat for St. Charles.
That's a very good start, actually, for the Saints. Joe Moreau talked about getting the ball to the forwards, getting them out into the corners, and the next step is going to be, once they can accomplish that, getting their midfielders involved to support the play. They'll be very dangerous coming in to the offense from the midfield.
Make away with the steal. And here come the Knights. Beth Topke. And back into the middle. And a trip.
It's a very hard tackle there by Suzanne Rivers, and the play whistled down by Jim Mitchell. This will bring up a direct free kick, and a very dangerous direct free kick. Anytime it's inside 30 yards and straight onto the goal, this is definitely a scoring opportunity for Lincoln Way. And they're going to ask for 10 yards, so the Saints will have to retreat, give a 10-yard wall. This is definitely an opportunity to put this shot directly on goal.
And St. Charles will set up the wall. And there's the kick over the crossbar. Lauren Coffey. So Lincoln Way with its first scoring opportunity.
Not a bad idea. A pretty deliberate restart. 3 players over the ball and the kick straight on. But they got to see immediately from that first defensive posture how St. Charles would set up its defense on a restart.
Sometimes they'll have a crossing pattern, I know, on a direct kick like that.
Exactly. If the foul is called a little bit more slanted towards the corner, angled towards the corner, where you don't necessarily have that first touch on goal opportunity, you will definitely want to look to play the ball into the middle of the field.
Just underway, the Girls State Soccer Championship. St. Charles, again, vying for its 4th consecutive state title and 7th this decade. Lincoln away here for the first time in the state finals. St. Charles has it in the middle. Lisa Himrod. As St. Charles tries to set it up, there's a good pass. Inside, Patrice Fulner. She has it. Good. Terrific defense by Mandy Mish for Lincoln away. As Fulner one slide step away from what would have been a terrific scoring opportunity.
Let's take another look. The ball played into space and a nice run onto it for the Saints. The cutback move, a little bad luck here as the footing goes out, but a great run by Patrice Fulner, exactly what they're looking to do, I think, running off the ball and creating some offense.
That one goes out, and we'll have the throw in for Lincoln away, or free kick rather. Kim Jedlow, and we'll be calling her name out quite a bit tonight, I have a feeling.
She's an all-stater, and she's only a junior, so we'll be calling her name out a lot tonight and probably again this time next year.
Here comes St. Charles once again on the run. Trying to set it up in the middle. There's the kick, and a terrific save, and kicked away. Emily Naganchuk. A diving save. Check this one out.
Well, this is Becky Myers, and this is what she does best. A booming ball across the goal mouth. Fingertip save. There is a rebound, but it's cleared off the line nicely by Shelly Soderborg. And there was a foul whistled on the play after the save was made and the ball was cleared out. So Lincoln Way will take the restart.
I have a feeling the butterflies are now out of the stomach of Emily.
Absolutely.
That's it. She made the one solid save. That's what she needed, I think, to get that really good touch. As we will have a throw-in for St. Charles. Almost 5 minutes gone here in the first half. And we have no score. Both teams now, Steve, have had pretty good scoring opportunities to get on the board here.
Yep, both teams have had an opportunity to run the offense a little bit. Lincoln Way off the restart. St. Charles a couple nice passes into open space. Now, these throw-in restarts are almost as good as a corner kick when you've got a thrower as accurate as this.
There it is inside. And back up top. And the lob shot just goes over the crossbar.
Again, those throw-in plays, a lot of teams will be happy to concede a throw-in under pressure in their defensive third. But when you've got a team like St. Charles that can put together a combination play such as that, it's a very dangerous restart.
And the goalie kick. Here to the near side. Kept in by St. Charles. And a whistle.
Foul whistled on Sarah Lynch. Just a little bit too much with the hips there, leading with the hips on the tackle, not getting her feet in to win the ball.
Down the field, St. Charles has had a lot of possession in Lincoln Way territory. Now Lincoln Way finally with a chance, but not to be here as Julie Akasadis brings it up. This is Lisa Himrod. And down the field, out of bounds. We'll have a throw in for Lincoln Way. Knights look to set it up. A little trouble here on the near side. And a little bit of a trip.
And Poulin getting in a little too aggressively with the feet on that tackle.
Lincoln Way trying to come back. Becca Topke. And that's stolen away by St. Charles. And the Fighting Saints. There's some contact there. And St. Charles will retain possession.
That's not a bad foul to take. Brian Papa, I'm sure, instructed his defenders to get up tight on players like Becky Myers. Don't give her a lot of space to turn with the ball and make things happen. So in that situation, it's okay to be taking a foul in the midfield in that situation, not allow her to turn and make things happen.
There's the free kick. Good header. And again, back to midfield. St. Charles, there's the kick out in front. And Naganchuk with the save. Still a lot of possession staying in the Lincoln Way end of the field. Not much going on the other side for Lexi Stormo at this point. Always subject to change, though. Back into the middle, trying to header there. And goes out.
Two players challenging for the ball. Last touch by Becky Myers. Both went up strong for the header, and it trickled out for the throw-in. And again, I like to see them trying to play the ball into the middle to the target players like Becky Myers. She's one of a handful of players that can make things happen instantly if you can get her the ball in a dangerous situation.
Almost 8 minutes gone here in the first half. No score. Lincoln away in St. Charles for the girls' state soccer champion for 1999. Steve Olkin, Steve Davidson at Naperville Central High School. St. Charles unable to keep it in. Lincoln away with the throw-in right at the mid-stripe. This is Becca Topke. And that pass errant. And back into Lincoln away territory. And the Knights try to get something going here. Haven't had much success except for one free kick that went over the crossbar. St. Charles has been in control of this game so far.
We have our first substitution coming into the game. Only 9 minutes into the game, Joe Moreau going to the bench, giving some playing time to one of his substitutes coming over onto the left side of the field, and that's going to be number 14, Stephanie Salb, a midfielder, junior, 4 goals on the season for the Saints.
And again, in a warm night, you may see quite a bit of substitution. Both coaches trying to keep their starters as fresh as possible. And Lincoln away trying to get something going offensively. Once again, St. Charles with possession. Here comes the pass to the wing, and that's taken away.
That was a really good read by Kristen Jedlow, stepping in to win that ball.
Out of bounds will the throw for St. Charles.
The next step for Lincoln Way is going to be to find a way to string together 2 or 3 passes before they cough up the ball. Just build a little confidence, and from that, they can start to get into their offense a little bit more. We take another look at the nice tackle and the reverse of field by Kristen Jedlow, but unfortunately, Lincoln Way was not able to retain possession.
Katie Conway's pass goes awry a little bit, but still St. Charles able to get the free kick. Patrice Fulner, the junior, 27 goals so far in 1999. And here it comes in the middle. And a whistle will stop play, and it will go to Lincoln Way.
Foul called again there on Ann Poulin. Just wasn't able to quite to get to the ball, and the contact before the header results in the free kick for Lincoln Way out of the back.
So the free kick and the goalie kick, and right again, St. Charles continues to keep the ball in Lincoln away territory, and that will go out. Almost 10 minutes into the first half, no score, Lincoln away in St. Charles. The state soccer championship on Fox Sports Net Chicago. St. Charles again with possession as we return to action. Back into the middle. Sarah Lynch. And the kick out to the right over the crossbar, a little bit wide as well.
You like to see the confidence in the player to try that shot. That's a very difficult shot, running away from the goal, crossing the ball pretty much against her body, but almost able to get it on goal. They did have a couple players making runs on the far side of the field, but they really weren't able to open themselves up. So with nothing better to do, it's not a bad chance to try to get that shot goalward.
Sarah Beebe with a BB, but just not on target. And St. Charles again with complete possession. There's the pass into the middle, and wide open, Stephanie Salb. She sets it up, and the shot goes wide.
Unfortunately, there's just a couple areas that are a little difficult as far as the terrain goes on the field, and that was one of them, unable to get a clear shot off.
We'll take a break. No score. Lincoln away in St. Charles for the state championship here on Fox Sports Net Chicago. Steve Olkin, Steve Davidson back at Naperville Central. As we return to action, still no score, but again, St. Charles has had the ball in Lincoln away territory, I would say about 90% of the time so far in this match.
Well, they've certainly knocked on the door a couple times. The key now is going to be to get just a little better shot, a little more quality opportunity, maybe one more pass before putting the ball on net.
Here's Stephanie Salb. She gets back into the middle to set it up. Suzanne Rivers, who won the semifinal match on Saturday with her goal, 3.5 minutes left in regulation. And Lincoln Way somehow looking to set it up as they finally get it into the middle. But Becky Topko, a little bit of trouble controlling the ball, but now Lincoln Way has it. Beth Bartkus. And unable to save it. Oh, they did save it. Lincoln Way. So to keep it in without the throw in for St. Charles. But again, they keep going backwards, and here comes St. Charles. And now Nagonchuk has to come up and hang on to it. And the kick looked like it went off the side of her foot a little bit. And once again,
a lot of space for Becky Myers. Watch out here.
Becky Myers, one of the best in the business, and it's taken away.
That's a very aggressive play and a good win of the ball for Lincoln Way by Denise Peck. Let's see if they can keep it. They cannot.
Denise Peck, the team MVP for the Lincoln Way Knights, thwarting another possible scoring opportunity for St. Charles. But once again, here they come. The Saints with a shot, and Nakonchuk another save. And once again out of bounds. Emily Nakonchuk.
Well, it wasn't the highest percentage opportunity, but it was a good play. Let's take another look at the steal. Nice aggressive tackle coming in, Denise Peck.
And here's the save now. Again, Nakonchuk coming up.
Very tight angle. Not much to shoot at, but a great save.
St. Charles once again, a shot. It goes through the crease. And back into the middle. The header's thwarted. There's a shot again, and a goal!
Well, anytime a player can get a clear look at the goal on a failure to clear a ball out of the back, when you're talking about the St. Charles Saints, a player like Ann Poulin's going to knock that ball down and put it in the back of net 3 times out of 4. And that's great concentration. Saw what she had to work with, settled the ball down, knocked it in the back of the net.
Here's your corner kick.
It's a good cross to the far post. No pressure there, very easily saved into play. The second cross.
Oh, and there's Ann Poulin.
Thank you
wide
very
open.
much. Great positioning by Ann, anticipating the play.
And once again, you'll see Poulin, and she is right there. As for Lincoln Way, Denise Peck just about a second too late in getting there to try to block that shot. So St. Charles on the board. 25 minutes remaining in the first half. The defending champs, the 3-time defending champs, St. Charles. And Steve, you just figure with all the pressure in this end, I mean, the ball's bound to go in the net eventually.
Oh, they're doing all the right things, and now here's
another shot and another goal! The header! Make that Sarah Lynch.
Number 20 on the season for Sarah Lynch, Iowa-bound senior. Good poise again in the finish. Here's the fake on the cross.
Look at the footwork. Nice.
A little bit of bad luck there by the Lincoln Way defense. A left-footed cross into the box. 2 players there. The header off the crossbar and into the back of the net.
Sarah Lynch once again. Boy, it doesn't get any prettier than this.
That's a very powerful cross and a nice finish. That's very difficult to defend.
Well, Lincoln Way with a whole bunch of work now. Trailing 2-0. Hey, the Chicago Sun-Times is the official newspaper of the IHSA State Championships. Remember to pick up your Chicago Sun-Times for complete coverage of the Illinois high school sports.
Earlier yesterday morning, the Sun-Times crowned its Player of the Year, and that was Aileen Guiney from Naperville North High School, who the Huskies finished in 4th place, and unfortunately for Aileen, a season-ending injury this morning, but we want to congratulate her and the Huskies on an outstanding season, the Naperville North Huskies.
Absolutely. From, of course, right nearby. Several players also involved in the state selections in this game tonight. Patrice Fulner, of course, from St. Charles. Becky Myers. I thought for sure, I don't know why, I kept preparing for Maine South this whole week. I watched Maine South in the Super Sectional.
Well, that was a great Super Sectional matchup.
Libertyville.
The Battle of Unbeatens, and one of the Titans had to fall. It was Libertyville, and I think a lot of people thought Maine South would carry through its momentum into the state tournament, but Lincoln Way had a very strong showing in that match.
Lincoln Way is going to have a strong showing tonight, and already the Knights trail 2-0, and St. Charles still trying to put the pressure on. Stephanie Saab with the pass in the middle and the header by Becky Myers over the crossbar.
Brian Papa is going to make a substitution here, and hopefully they're going to shake things up a little bit in the back, get a little more confidence, and get some passes cut off, some challenges won, because I guarantee you if Becky Myers gets too many more of those opportunities, we're going to have a third goal on the board very quickly.
Here you see Brian Papa. Got to be some concern.
She's just got far too much space on this. There's no one within 3 yards of her.
And the ball goes out of bounds. What can Brian Papa do defensively now to try and thwart that, but try to get some action at the other end?
It's a very tough predicament to be in, but I think step one is to get the confidence back in the defense. You've got to play strong defense and keep St. Charles right where they are, and then build something into the midfield and hopefully get a counterattack or a 3-on-2, a 2-on-1, maybe a free kick around the box where you can get that first goal, build some momentum, and work your way back into the game.
Yeah, the action, for a moment anyway, in the St. Charles territory. Now Lincoln away. Try to get something going offensively. It's a good pass, and Lexi Stormo comes up.
It's a nice run by Kim Jedlow. Unfortunately, the ball just a little bit too far in front, and good read by the St. Charles goalkeeper, Lexi Stormo, coming out to pick it off.
And once again, down the field we go. St. Charles. And a little lob kick. Nikonchuk is there. Emily Nikonchuk, she's a freshman. And again, as we said coming in, she's allowed 28 goals in 27 games. Made a couple terrific saves early on in this game. But here comes another partial breakaway shot, and Nikonchuk is there. As St. Charles and Patrice Fulner trying to make it 3-0. And the kick down the field into the mid section. But once again, St. Charles is there. They just seem a step quicker than Lincoln away.
It's that touch right there. Those balls they're consistently winning now and starting their counterattack. And you can see they're stringing together 3 or 4 passes and having players move off the ball. It's a very dangerous offense.
The lob into the penalty area, and the Nikonchuk has it, and we'll let it fly.
Now they've got to get some players forward to help win this ball when it comes down.
And as you said, they really haven't been able to string a couple of good passes together and really kind of open the field up, too. Everything has been right in the middle.
It's very difficult when you're concentrating on defending, and when you accomplish what you need to do and now get into the transition of thinking offense, it's kind of like, well, you just won the battle. Now we've got to go to our next battle, which is going to be equally difficult.
And especially now that you're down 2-0, you're more often than not thinking defense. We can't go down anymore, but yet you still have to try to attack at the other end.
Absolutely.
Almost halfway complete now with the first half of play.
Great steal by Becky Myers. Strong tackle.
Well, you can see why Stanford can't wait for Becky Myers to get there in Palo Alto next fall.
I think she's going to be a great college player.
And maybe one to look out for World Cup competition in a few years.
There's a great pool of players at that age now, Steve, that are coming through the college ranks, and Stanford is certainly a program on the move.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. St. Charles leading Lincoln away 2-0. This is Fox Sports Net Chicago. Steve Olkin, Steve Davidson, Steve Squared here in Naperville Central tonight as we crowned the state champion in girls soccer for 1999. And St. Charles, if you are a follower of soccer and on the prep level from the girls side of things, you know that St. Charles, no stranger to be playing in this state championship game. It's an amazing run, and you credit Joe Moreau and his staff and just the history of the school.
And you talk about the history of the school. They've really built an outstanding tradition in a relatively short amount of time. 2 of the 1994 state champion Saints are now assistant coaches for Joe Moreau.
There's Patrice Fulner again. Little left shot, not too much on it. And the Nikonchuk able to get down and to bring it in. But again, St. Charles able to keep it on Lincoln Way territory. Out of bounds, we'll have a throw in for Lincoln Way.
This will be a substitution situation for the Knights. 2 more fresh players coming into the game. I started to mention 2 of the St. alums, if you will, are behind the bench now helping out. And goalkeeper volunteer coach Merritt Elsie giving back to the program a little bit. She was an All-American back in 1994. And Ruth Poulin, the older sister of Ann Poulin, is the freshman-sophomore coach for the Fighting Saints.
Play goes out of bounds and Lincoln Way again the throw in. Trying desperately to get something going offensively. Again, the Lincoln Way Knights they got here with a big win over Maine South in the quarterfinals on Friday, 4-1, as they beat Maine South. That was the Maine South's first loss of 1999. And then Saturday morning beat Quincy 4-0. That Quincy won its quarterfinal game 12-0 on Friday.
Yeah, the Chicago Public League represented this year by Whitney Young High School, and congratulations to the Dolphins on their first trip to the Elite Eight. But a long game for them, unfortunately, against the Quincy Blue Devils. Had a player shaken up on the Saints on that last tackle. Both players, I think, brought their arms up a little bit to try to protect themselves and shield the ball. And they're going to go ahead and stop the game. Take another look at it.
Suzanne Rivers involved in that.
The initial foul is there against St. Charles, and then you can see just the recoil. The arm by Lauren Coffey kind of caught her up, looked like around the chin.
So Suzanne Rivers will come off the field.
Now, if you're St. Charles, this is something you really want to avoid. Lincoln Way not able to build a lot of offense thus far. When you concede the free kick, this is as good as a corner kick now. It's basically a free cross. If they can flood some players into the penalty area and hopefully get a header on this ball.
Lauren Coffey will take care of that when play resumes, and now it does. There's a little drop kick, and contact by Lincoln Way. There's a shot, and Lexi Stormo with a terrific save.
Not a lot on this shot, but it was a good shot and it was well placed, and a great job just to win the ball and get the ball goalward. So that's something that they can build on. That's one really good penetration, and now we'll see if they can string some passes together and swing the momentum a little bit.
And they try there, but thwarted away, and St. Charles, oh, no, that's stolen away. Here's Lauren Coffey again. Coffey with the shot that goes wide. But again, yeah, maybe that is the momentum build them now. Here's the last save now for Lexi Stormo.
Again, a great cross, ball into the center. Three players challenging. Unfortunately, not a lot on that shot, but a courageous effort to hit it first time and a good diving save.
And you wonder there, maybe Stormo could have been screened just a little bit, but she was able to see it all the way. And now Lincoln Way trying to put a mild threat on here. 17 minutes plus for the first half. Just tuning in, St. Charles with the lead, and basically most of the control of this first half. Deep into the corner, back out into the middle. And, oh, good back hit, and able to keep possession was Lauren Coffey. And now St. Charles able to kick it out and not able to save it. So Lincoln Way with the toss in. The broadcast rights for the Illinois High School Association Girls Soccer Championship have been granted to Fox Sports Net Chicago and Intersport Television by the IHSA. Any unauthorized reproduction or rebroadcast of this event is prohibited.
Sarah Lynch coming back into the lineup for the Fighting Saints, and it's a good time to get her back on the field if you're Joe Moreau. A little bit of a momentum swing for Lincoln Way as they're able to get 3 good attacks at goal, and Sarah will help regroup things for St. Charles up front.
Yeah, for the first time, we're able to look to our right. Everything's been to the left. Now St. Charles will have the throw-in right here at midfield. Doing the honors, Lisa Himrod, and she's able to save it back in. And Sarah Lynch for St. Charles knocks it out, and Lincoln Way will have the throw-in. And again, the crowd here for St. Charles, their fans have had plenty to cheer about so far tonight.
This is going to be a pretty good rivalry, talking with both coaches. Even though the schools are located, I think, a good 45 or 50 miles apart, they do schedule each other on a regular basis, and it's a good friendly rivalry as well. So I think anytime you get these two teams together, it's going to be a great atmosphere with a good following.
And again, both teams, they did meet in the regular season, but it was a long time ago and probably a heck of a lot colder.
I'm sure a rainy night in St. Charles back in the first week of April. There's 3 future World Cup stars.
Here they are. St. Charles won that game back in April. 6-2 was the final, but again, certainly Lincoln Way has improved a whole great deal since then, and St. Charles has got nothing but better. There's the shot, and it just goes over the crossbar. Emily, the Konchuk, saying, come on, wind. Come on, wind. Pick it up.
Normally not a high percentage shot, but anytime you can get a ball goalward and get it this high, where it's clearly over the goalkeeper's head, and she's got to find a way to get up and reach the crossbar, it's going to be a difficult play. And that one just a little bit wide.
And the Konchuk hanging on to the post for dear life. Yeah, that's got to be scary, though, for the goalie, because that's one of those where you know you can't reach it. It just better go over the crossbar or go wide. And here are the Knights from Lincoln Way. In the black, and again, not able to do anything. And St. Charles, good footwork, but thwarted away by the defense. And a trip out of bounds. St. Charles will retain possession with the throw-in as we approach the 14-minute mark here in the first half.
Sarah Lynch came within one little touch of having goal number 3 on the scoreboard. Just put the ball a little bit too far out in front. But again, this restart off the throw-in is extremely dangerous. They've got 4 players huddled in front of the goal.
Suzanne Rivers with the throw-in. And the header goes behind the net.
Last touch by
Corner
Lincoln
kick.
Way.
So we'll have a corner kick on the far side. Sarah Lynch will do the honors, and as you can see, she sets it up, and St. Charles will set it up. Again, that's just a little short kick to the front as they try to do something a little differently. There's a shot that's blocked in the middle.
That's a design play with 3 very well-executed control passes resulting in the shot. Unfortunately, it was blocked.
Lisa Himrod loses control, and back come the Knights. But back come the Fighting Saints. As once again, we're back to where we were in the first part of this game with St. Charles able to control the tempo and possession. Physical action right down front.
Hard challenge there. The first foul whistled down by Jim Mitchell on the St. Charles ball player. There was a little bit of a retaliation with the grab. We see the turn and the tackle, and that's where the foul occurred. Then you saw the shirt grab that occurred after it.
And so the throw in for St. Charles. Looking to increase on that 3-0 or that 2-0 lead. Looking to make it 3-0. Pass out to the wing. And once again, deep into the area, and Lincoln Way will have the throw in. Or the free kick, rather.
Yeah, Sarah Lynch whistled down for the foul. That was a good read by the Lincoln Way defense, anticipating that pass into the corner, getting into good position to pick it off and also shield the ball to draw the foul.
The header comes back to St. Charles territory. And again, just momentarily, Julie Akatis, the senior, going to Iowa, as are several of these St. Charles Fighting Saints heading out to Iowa City. They raided the program, huh?
Well, Stephanie Gebbert's doing good things out in Iowa City with the Hawkeyes. The Big Ten, as we talked about a little earlier, is definitely a super conference for women's soccer, continuing to grow. Purdue University was the 11th and final school to add a varsity team just last season. So we're going to see, I think, a lot of good players staying at home or close to home from the state of Illinois for the next foreseeable future, many years to come.
Ball went way into the stands. Now here's the throw-in. St. Charles, midfield, far side. Jenna Stormo, the junior. And St. Charles, again, you talk about depth and the way this team is going to be built for the future. 15 players will be returning next year in what could be trying to defend another championship. St. Charles on its way right now in total control of this match. Lincoln Way trying to get something going offensively.
This is Beth Bartkus, 12 goals on the season. They've got to find a way to get her involved in the offense, and unfortunately she was not able to hold on to the ball in that situation. And the Saints will, again, just bring it into Lincoln Way territory, and you got to figure, Steve, St. Charles really in no rush now. I mean, everything's going for them at this point with 10 minutes to go here in the first half. They can really, I think, pick and choose their opportunities, and a nice luxury for Joe Moreau now, using the bench a little bit. A couple more players coming into the game, so he can rest a few players for the second half, these last 10 minutes, or at least a portion of these last 10 minutes. A nice luxury to have in a state championship game.
Oh, absolutely. Becky Myers. Again, we've called her name out quite a bit tonight. Where's number 10? 8th in her class out of over 700. Terrific student, terrific athlete, and heading to Stanford next year. There's an opportunity for Lincoln Way and thwarted away by St. Charles. Stormo came up. Also the defense contributed as well, and now they try to counter. And a takedown.
That's going to be a yellow card caution. Hard foul in open space like this is often going to result in the yellow card.
Christian Jedlow.
First we see the build-up for Lincoln Way. This is Bartkus running out of the midfield, playing the ball forward. Nice defensive play. Very nice defensive play by St. Charles.
Now watch this foul. Jedlow. Oh.
Just a little late. She was definitely putting her legs where the ball was. Unfortunately, by the time the tackle came in, Kristen took the legs rather than the ball. And more often than not, that is going to result in a yellow card. It sends a message to the players that the referee is monitoring the situation, wants to see a fair game, wants to see safe tackles, especially in that situation where it's a wide open field. If she's able to get past her, she's definitely going to have a scoring opportunity.
Well, you're a soccer official. You would have made that same call?
I will not comment if I would have made the same call. I will say Jim Mitchell was right on it, and he was very adamant that that's not the type of tackle he's going to tolerate tonight.
All you guys stick together. All you officials stick together. Here's the kick in the middle, and it's headed away by Lincoln Way. And the Knights trying to get something going. St. Charles again, halves into the middle. That's kicked away. Lincoln Way trying desperately to connect on a couple of passes. And play stops, and we'll have the free kick for St. Charles. Stephanie Saub with the lob shot and the save. Nikonchuk able to stop that one. And Lincoln Way again trying to set something up offensively, but St. Charles just will not allow it as they continue to put the pressure on. And out of bounds will have the throw in for Lincoln Way. Lincoln Way fans trying to get something going, trying to get their team going as well. There's Becky Myers. Pass far side. Sarah Beebe. And we'll take down on the other side. Last touch by St. Charles. Lincoln Way with the throw-in.
There is the yellow card culprit, our first caution of the match. Number 25 for Lincoln Way, Kristen Jedlow. Just a hard tackle, and again, Jim Mitchell sending a message that those types of tackles are not going to be tolerated, protecting the players, and also calming everyone down and keeping the game friendly.
Steve Olkin, Steve Davidson, Naperville Central High School is the venue for the state soccer championship for the girls for 1999. 2-0 St. Charles. Lincoln Way trying to get something going. And the pass, and a couple of times deflected away. Good job.
Juliet Coquetus looked like a brick wall twice there.
That's right.
Sticking her frame in front of that play. Nice job of breaking it up, and now we have a foul at the other end. St. Charles will retain possession at the midfield.
And there it is. A free kick. Stephanie Saub. And do a little fancy footwork. And the pass into the middle is knocked away. That'll be retrieved by Sarah Beebe. And the throw in on the far side. And a whistle will stop play for a moment.
Yet another substitution for the Fighting Saints as Ann Bernard enters the game, junior midfielder, 3 goals on the season for St. Charles.
St. Charles 27-2-1. And again, earlier this season they had their 88 match streak knocked off a little bit by Fremd. And then later on, get a little revenge and beat Fremd.
That's another great rivalry here in the state of Illinois. Both of those teams ranked right up there at the top of the standings throughout the season, the rankings rather.
Lincoln Way trying to get something going. Kim Jedlow, and we have not called her name a lot tonight. She has been marked pretty well.
This will bring up another free kick for Lincoln Way. Again, we see the foul being called, an indirect free kick for the nature of the foul, either a dangerous play or an obstruction situation. Brings up an indirect free kick, meaning that the ball can't be put directly in. So you see the short pass, and now the shot.
And here it comes, and it goes wide. Again, we talked about Kim Jedlow in our pregame. She's basically one of the big stars for the Lincoln Way Knights, and she hasn't had much opportunity tonight.
Not a lot yet, and Beth Bartkus as well, 12 goals on the season. She was able to get the shot off there. Again, momentum is a lot in the game of soccer, and with 5 minutes to play, they've got to find a way to get these players the ball in situations where they can be dangerous even if they can't score one this half, at least go into the locker room thinking, okay, we're close, we're ready to put one in.
And Lincoln Way trying to put one in now, but again, the defense there. Akikatis for St. Charles. And the pass is headed back. And St. Charles able to get that out of any danger. And into Lincoln Way territory will go out.
A little bad luck for Shelley Soderborg coming forward for Lincoln Way, winning that ball, but unfortunately knocking it right back into the St. Charles defense.
Once again, the Knights will try to get a rush going, but not to be there. St. Charles, Katie Conway, the junior defense, able to kick it back. 4:45 first half. St. Charles trying for win number 28 and another state title. Oh, home, just another state title. On the far side, and once again, here comes the Saints. Joni Anderson, another one of those young ladies heading to Iowa, and the save made. Coming up at halftime, we'll of course have the highlights of the first half. In case you were just tuning in late, you missed the first 2 goals from St. Charles, all the stats as well. And Steve Davidson, the special guest.
We'll be talking with Jim Lindblom, who is the president of the Illinois High School Soccer Coaches Association, also a member of the IHSA Soccer Organizing Committee, and the head coach, boys and girls head coach at Elgin High School. Talk to him a little bit about the growth of soccer at the high school level here in the great state of Illinois.
And it is growing in leaps and bounds in all facets and in all conferences. And again, soon, as you talked about before, there'll be the split, Class A and AA.
I think it's inevitable as we see more schools adding girls soccer in the spring. It's a great sport. It's an easy sport to implement, and there's a tremendous demand for it, I think, throughout the state. Not only here in the suburbs, but really throughout the state. We've seen some really good teams this weekend from the central part of Illinois and traditionally from the St. Louis area as well.
Corner kick coming up for St. Charles at the 3-minute mark for the first half. On the way. And I like how Becky Myers did that. It looked like she was able to read it as it went over her head, and she knew that somebody was in back of her, and that somebody was Ann Poulin, and the header just went a little bit wide.
A lot of good communication off the ball, players communicating, making their runs to different areas when the ball's played across. Really makes them a very dangerous threat, and they've got pretty much all the options covered if the ball's played long across or short, low, high. They've always got someone in position to react to it.
Ann Poulin there trying to get the header, a little too much contact. Beth Barkus was on the other end of that, and Lincoln Way with the free kick. Down the field, good job by Lincoln Way's Kristen Jedlow, able to get some good position on that ball, but taken right back by St. Charles. And the Fighting Saints from St. Charles with it on the side. Trying to bring it into a better scoring position, not able to do that. And Lincoln Way will have the goalie kick. With less than 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Again, Sarah Lynch breaking through on the flank on the right wing. Unfortunately, a similar problem that she saw earlier, just a little too much touch on the ball. And that's something that she'll adjust her game as we go into the second half, keeping that ball a little closer to her feet and continuing the offensive flow.
Contact, no call. St. Charles able to keep it in.
That's a great save.
Good job, Stephanie Saub. And deep into the corner. Back out to the middle and Lincoln Way. Able to get it back out. Beth Barkus back into the middle. And St. Charles for the throw-in. Just looks like Steve St. Charles a step quicker and maybe just a little faster on the wings, able to get some good the good kicks, either corner kicks or side kicks, back into the middle.
And I think a part of that now, again, is depth going into the 40th minute. Joe Moreau is able to bring 7, 8 players into the game, spell some of those starting players. So you've got fresh players playing against tired players right now, which is certainly a factor when you're talking about winning a loose ball or chasing down a loose ball.
Inside of a minute for the first half, here's the shot on goal and the save. Emily Nikonchuk, who has been awfully busy here in the first half tonight, unlike her counterpart, Lexi Stormo, who's only had to make a couple of saves. And And just really able to be a spectator out there a little bit.
Well, she stepped up when she needed to. One very good diving save and good positioning on the free kicks. Again, if St. Charles can avoid taking some of those fouls, that would really eliminate a good portion of Lincoln Way's opportunities so far.
We wind it down for the first half. And the kick, the header.
There's still time.
There's time. There's a shot. Oh, it just goes wide. Oh, my. Wide open just before the gun. Patrice Fulner. She might see that in her nightmares.
Well, that's a good example of why we play 40 full minutes and all the way to the end. You only need 3 or 4 seconds to get a pass like this off. The ball over to the far side. Nice job bringing it down. Finds a teammate unmarked. And unfortunately, the shot just wide of the post by Patrice Fulner.
And we'll take one more look at it. Once again, the terrific pass by Stephanie Saul.
She had a lot of time and a good first-time shot. Good look at the goal. And again, you want to keep that shot low. At least try to get it on goal, make the goalkeeper make the save.
All right, we're at half. 40 minutes in the books. 40 more for St. Charles to try to get the state championship for 1999, the 4th in a row, and then 40 minutes on the other side for Lincoln Way to try and get back in this match. Halftime score, St. Charles leading Lincoln Way 2-0. Halftime festival.
Steve Davidson back at Naperville Central High School. We're at halftime of the 1999 IHSA Girls Soccer State Championship, and I'm joined today by Jim Lindblom, the president of the Illinois High School Soccer Coaches Association and a member of the Soccer Advisory Committee for the IHSA. Jim is also the head boys and girls coach at Elgin High School. Jim, welcome. It's a great year for soccer in the state of Illinois.
It certainly is, and we continue to move forward with the programs for both boys and girls, both through the IHSA and through the Coaches Association, to get better playing conditions, better playing fields. It's been a great year.
It really has. And Jim, one thing that I know a lot of our fans are curious about, recently the IHSA made a very important step, and that was introducing the 2 levels, A and AA, for the boys soccer competition. Can we expect to see the same down the road for the girls competition? And if so, what criteria need to be met before we can expect that?
Well, the IHSA has a set of criterion that are published, and the same ones that were used for boys will be used for girls. And the first thing you have to reach is that benchmark of 300 schools that are participating. And right now in girls, we're at about 282 and 283, I guess. And so we're within a year or 2 of having the 2-class system for girls as well.
Well, this will be some even more exciting times, certainly, for the state. And it seems to be growth just about everywhere we look. I know in your own district of Elgin schools, U46, introducing the 4th high school, Bartlett High School, a new rival for you. And how are things shaping up closer to home up in Elgin?
Well, very well. The Bartlett program is going to be outstanding. Unfortunately, they draw both boys and girls off my Elgin team, including my stepdaughter, who played for me as a freshman at Elgin. Now she's at Bartlett. The outstanding program that started at Nequa is also in our conference, the Upstate 8. So it's fine time. St. Charles anticipates in 2 years splitting, and that'll be at another school in our conference.
And we can't forget, of course, up in the Crystal Lake area, Prairie Ridge High School, opening its doors just a couple of years back, and very quickly becoming, if not a power, certainly a force to be reckoned with in both boys and girls soccer.
Well, the nice thing about girls soccer is that with a new program, you can have an impact very quickly. Young players, freshmen, sophomores can come and be impact players immediately, and a program can be there right from the onset.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because I think you'll agree, unlike some other sports, soccer is getting to be a sport where players really can play year-round. With some of the training programs and conditioning programs now in the off-season, we're seeing some incredibly fit and skilled athletes, both boys and girls now, that are competing on a year-round basis.
It's become very much the time that you have to be a specialist in soccer. It's difficult to be a 3-sport athlete and excel at soccer. You have to really play year-round to compete, because it's not just the off-season team, it's the summer camps, it's personal trainers. There's a lot of time and money invested in training the kids.
And I think to follow along with that point, one interesting thing this year, of the 8 teams that qualified for the Elite 8, we saw 3 brand new teams qualifying for the first time. Whitney Young out of the Public League. We also saw Jacobs, not too far from your area up in Algonquin, qualifying for the first time, and a first trip to the Elite 8, I believe, for Quincy Senior High School as for the girls competition.
Yes, and if you look at those rosters, Jacobs, their scorers were sophomores. I think there were 3 of them who had outstanding years. The same with Quincy. As I looked over their roster, just 6 seniors on the entire roster. So they have many more years of excellence coming up.
Well, speaking of excellence coming up, Jimmy, I want to thank you for your excellent service and the many years that you're going to continue to give to the game. We'll have halftime stats and highlights coming up after this timeout.
Back at Naperville Central High School, Steve Olkin, Steve Davidson, halftime score. The Saints from St. Charles leading the Knights from Lincoln away 2-0. Check out the first half highlights.
Saints been very, very dangerous all the first half. Here's a great cross. Becky Myers challenging on the header, and a very easy chance and a great strike, and pulling her 14th goal after Becky Myers doing a great job winning the head ball challenge in front of the net.
And pulling wide open there. And here's goal number 2.
Some great footwork here by Patrice Fulner. Booming cross. Sarah Lynch there to finish it with the header, the underside of the crossbar and into the back of the net.
Emily Nikonchuk not able. She was a couple of inches taller. She would have got that. Here's your first half stats.
And I think the 2 key stats here, of course, are the huge difference in shots. A total of 20 for St. Charles to 4 for Lincoln Way. 3 corner kicks for St. Charles, none for the Knights.
9 saves for Lincoln away, but 2 already in the books. We'll take a break, come back for the final 40 minutes. 2-0 St. Charles on Fox Sports Net Chicago. Back at Naperville Central, second half just underway. Steve Olkin, Steve Davidson with you, 2-0 St. Charles. And Lincoln away had first possession, and right off the gun, Kim Jedlow tried to make something happen early there for the Knights.
Yes, and to no surprise, I think St. Charles with the restart, 4 quick passes, and they're back into their offensive flow. So it looks like if there are any adjustments made at halftime, the Saints certainly didn't seem to be fooled by them, as they were able to very quickly counterattack. We have our first injury. Let's hope it's minor. For the Saints, it's Lisa Himrod down, shaking up on the play, but looks like she's going to be all right.
Making sure all the teeth are in place. What will Lincoln Way have to do here, Steve, to really try to get back in this game and get something going, try to tie it up, or even take the lead in the next 40 minutes?
Well, you really have to focus both ends of the field. First, defensively, a lot better marking, especially inside the penalty area. You cannot give these prolific goal scorers a time to get their best shots off. They're going to have to get a little closer, maybe a little better communication before the balls are played in, so they can read the play a little better, anticipate, and not allow these opportunities. And then again, on the offensive end, you've got to find a way to make some things happen, and you usually use your go-to players. So they've got to find a way to get players like Beth Bartkus into the offense. Kim Jedlow's got to have a big half, and Denise Peck's got to battle through that injury and make some things happen.
And again, for St. Charles, not that they really want to watch the clock at this point. They still have to, be aggressive offensively, but they don't want to make any serious mistakes.
Like in a lot of other sports, the best defense is playing offense, and the more they can play at this end of the field, the less they're going to have to worry about defending.
St. Charles in the orange with the black trim. As we reestablish play in the second half, early on, Lincoln away, trying to make something happen. I just get the feeling, though, as we get deep into the second half and the Lady Knights see the scoreboard, I don't know, maybe dejection starts to set in just a little bit.
They've got to find a way to fight through some of those feelings, and I'm sure a good halftime pep talk would help. And we'll have to see as the second half moves on if they're able to sustain that energy.
Almost a terrific takeaway there, Patrice Fulner, who again, we've called her name out quite a bit tonight. Ann Poland, Sarah Lynch with the goals for St. Charles.
That's a good battle there, and Kristen Jedlow coming out with the free kick as both players went in strong for the tackle.
And the goalie kick for Lincoln Way. Back into the middle. And down the field. Trying to catch up to it is Jedlow, but Lexi Stormo is there.
That's a really tough play. You've got to find a way to elude 2 defenders and get to that ball before the goalkeeper, who of course has the luxury of seeing the play develop and the ball traveling pretty much directly at her. Did a nice job reading it and coming well out of the goal to make the play.
Lincoln Way with the throw in. There's the Lady Knights trying to set it up. Oh, it's funny, having worked in Joliet for several years prior to working in Chicago radio, I had a chance to call a lot of Lincoln Way games, baseball and football, basketball, and so certainly familiar. Lincoln Way has a great athletic program. They're prolific in a lot of sports.
They do a great job down there, and a great rivalry, local rivalry down there with Sandburg High School, just up the road in Orland Park. Those two teams meet regularly in the regular season, and more often than not, somewhere in the playoffs. This year in the super sectional round, and this year it was Lincoln Way's turn to emerge on top.
And of course, in other sports, Lincoln Way and Providence go head-to-head quite a bit down in the southwest suburbs. For St. Charles, out of the Upstate 8 Conference. And of course, you know the history of St. Charles soccer throughout this decade.
And we have to ask ourselves what the next chapter of St. Charles soccer will bring as we go into the next millennium and the upcoming split of St. Charles High School into two entities.
St. Charles against St. Charles.
Well, they'll probably meet somewhere before the state title game because of the way the regions and the sectionals are paired. But who knows? Down the road, that could certainly blossom into a tremendous rivalry.
Starting to cool off just a little bit on this Saturday night after a hot day. And again, both teams played their semifinal matches on Saturday morning. And I don't know, I just still marvel at the conditioning of soccer players in general, and especially even when you get to the high school level, the strain and everything else that goes with it. It's unbelievable.
It's really a testament to the training programs that these teams benefit from, and a lot of it now is on a year-round basis, utilizing sports nutrition, training, weight training, other exercise programs, not necessarily soccer specific, but also soccer now being a sport that can be played year-round with the indoor game, as well as at least 8 months out of the year, sometimes in less than ideal conditions.
Yes. Sarah Beebe with the throw-in. She was able to do a little fancy footwork and get possession for St. Charles once again. Deep into Lincoln Way territory. And back out to the center. St. Charles, they're in no rush. They just want to keep the ball in Lincoln Way territory. Clock kicking to the penalty area. And there's a shot and a goal! Look at that. Emily Nikonchuk kind of overplayed it a little bit. And St. Charles right there. Patrice Fulner, Johnny on the spot.
Well, when you have so many players inside the penalty area and Lincoln Way trying to react to it, they've got to sort out better communication to get these players picked up. Long cross. The header's won. And she just blew by her defender for an easy goal.
And you watch, again, Nikonchuk. And I have a feeling, Steve, we talk about Emily Nikonchuk. She's a freshman. She'll learn from that. That's growing pains right there.
Yeah, that's a very difficult situation to be thrown into. You've got a defender who's coming out to challenge Poulin on the play and got there late, so the Poulin easily won the header. And then you've got a player unmarked 5 yards from the goal. All the goalkeeper maybe can try to do in that situation is anticipate that pass and try to get there first. Of course, what could also happen is Poulin could just have put the ball on goal.
So Ann Poulin, her second goal of the night. And she continues to score and be very, very aggressive for St. Charles. 7 minutes into the second half, and it's 3-0. The Fighting Saints, I would have to say, well on their way now to another state championship.
Well, the Saints certainly are marching in, and it's going to take a serious...
You didn't say that, did you?
I didn't say
Okay.
that. I've been holding it all night. It's going to take a serious change of events for the Knights to battle back from 3 goals down when you're playing a team that's allowed 1 goal in the state playoffs.
Yeah, it is now 52-1. St. Charles has outscored its opponents since the playoffs started several weeks ago. And I don't think they're done yet. Here's Fulmer. Pretty good dribbling work there. And deflected away. Pass into the middle. And Lincoln Way able to bat it out of there. St. Charles. And again, the clock is their ally at this point, even though we still have plenty of time in the second half, 32 minutes. That's a lifetime for Lincoln Way to try to get a comeback. And you know, if Lincoln Way can get a goal here in the next couple of minutes, all of a sudden they'll feel that the confidence is there.
And that's really what it's all about. You've got to get that first one, and to get that first one, you've got to do some positive things and make some things happen up front.
And one thing right now is not allowing the play to continue in their zone. As Lincoln Way tries somehow.
That's just a bad pass there out of the back.
That continues to give St. Charles the possession. Stephanie Saub on the far side. Ball deflected out.
We talked about it from the onset. If Lincoln Way could establish some control in the back, some confidence building, passing, working the ball through their defense into the midfield, generating some offense, they would be effective. And you can clearly see from that last exchange they were having a lot of difficulty working the ball. They were able to put together 2 or 3 passes, but really to be effective, work the ball into the midfield, have players running into open space and build the offense. They just can't get it to that level at this point.
Last loss for the Lincoln Way Knights came on May the 1st against Naperville. 2-1 was the score in that one. And there's a shot on goal. And a nice save. Konchuk would boot it away. And for again St. Charles, who had the 88 unbeaten streak snapped back on April 17th. Their last loss came to a Naperville Central on May the 1st as well, 2-1, and it's been W's ever since.
A little bit of bad luck for Denise Peck on that last exchange. She really anticipated the play well, stepped in front, but unfortunately when she went to steal the ball, it just popped up in the air. She wasn't able to knock it down. So St. Charles, again, doing what they have to do just to keep Lincoln Way from building any type of momentum, putting anything really threatening together at the offensive end of the field.
St. Charles back on the counter. And the pass here to this near side. That's Sarah Beebe.
I think Sarah Beebe would like to have that one back.
I think so.
Boy, she had Patrice Fulner again unmarked at the top of the penalty area, and that's one more pass, and it would have been a very serious scoring opportunity.
And St. Charles again. Now, Shelley Soderberg will have to throw in for Lincoln Way. Hey, high school sports fans, don't forget, for the best full half hour of high school sports action anywhere, check out IHSA Sportsnet with Tom Waddle, Sundays at 11 a.m. right here on your home for the IHSA Fox Sportsnet Chicago. Tommy Waddle, good number 87. Lost some teeth many times at Soldier Field, where the World Cup action will take place for the women's in just a few weeks.
As soon as they remove Tommy Waddle's teeth.
As soon as, yeah, well, the dentures and everything. He'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Let's do a couple of radio shows with Tom Waddle. Great guy.
He's a great guy. He's done a lot for sports, and it's great that he's stayed active and stayed involved in the community.
Absolutely. St. Charles has been very active tonight. As you can see on the clock, 28:50 and counting. And Lincoln Way trying to get something happen. There's a shot deflected away.
Bad luck there. They got 3 players forward. They definitely executed correctly, but just couldn't finish it off.
And the header back for Lincoln Way. Mandy Nish. We've called her number a couple times. She's been very good defensively. And the pass to the right side. Here's Jedlow. And the kick goes out of bounds. 28:20 to go for the game. St. Charles up 3-0. You're watching the state finals on Fox Sports Net Chicago. Back at Naperville Central High School, Steve Olkin, Steve Davidson. The clock definitely in favor of St. Charles. Lincoln Way, I think, I'd like to add a few more minutes to that one as they try to find some way to get back in this match.
Well, they've got a very potent offense, as do many of the teams that were here in the Elite Eight. But 3 goals is going to be a big obstacle, a big hurdle to get over. And as that clock continues to dwindle, I'm sure reality is going to be setting in very soon.
St. Charles, and again with the 3 goals tonight. It's an amazing stat. It really is. 52 goals so far in the postseason, and have allowed just 1. And really not a lot of shots either. When you think about it, throughout the whole playoffs, not a lot of real good shot attempts on goal for the opponents. And again, you credit the defense for St. Charles for that.
Absolutely. They just do not open themselves up to counterattacks. They do not make technical mistakes that are going to put them at disadvantages. And I'm sure for the rest of the game tonight they're going to focus on reading and picking their opportunities to go forward as to not leave themselves vulnerable.
Good hand for Becky Myers back in. There's Brian Papa.
Joe Moreau,
rather, who I don't think is celebrating just yet.
Joe's very competitive. I'm sure he's thinking about his next move, and that's probably going to be, again, keeping a couple of those players fresh just in case.
He just brought Becky Myers back in the game. She got a nice hand. And again, Becky Myers, the two-time All-Stater for St. Charles. She'll be packing her bags later on this summer and heading to Palo Alto, or she'll play for Stanford. And also probably get all A's as well. An outstanding student athlete. And that's what you like to read about and hear about with these young ladies and young men in high school. There's the shot on goal.
It's a nice play by Kirsten Jedlow. Just couldn't get enough on that shot. But again, they've got to find a way to sustain that now and attack consistently.
And able to keep it in play. Mandy Mish for Lincoln Way. The goal kick, and St. Charles has it.
Good read by the referee, Jim Mitchell. Yeah, that was a very good read by Jim Mitchell. The St. Charles player knocked to the turf. He quickly turned to make sure they weren't going to keep the offense, because the referee does have the opportunity to use the advantage rule and allow play to continue. Realized that wasn't the case and whistled down the infraction.
And Poland able to get up quickly. And the free kick for the Fighting Saints for St. Charles. And the header right back. But again, St. Charles able to keep it in Lincoln Away territory. Able to sustain all the offensive momentum, really. And it's been this way throughout virtually the opening kick. Lincoln Way has only had a couple of scoring opportunities. Not a lot of work for Lexi Stormo in this game tonight. Back into the near corner. And once again, St. Charles is able to little give and take, back and forth.
Very good read by Jenna Stormo there, kind of closing in that open space to win that ball, anticipating before the ball came.
You see a good ground shot right there. Becky Myers, she's number 10. And if you're going to follow college soccer, follow the path of Becky Myers. Good lob pass and a nice save there by Emily Nikonchuk. She hasn't lost her concentration. She's still in this game.
I think we're going to see a lot of good things from her the rest of her high school career.
Inside of 25. What's the save again? This is a good lob shot. And Nikonchuk had to be right there with somebody coming right on.
Yep, she read it very well. And for a player who isn't overly tall, she's got to find a way to extend herself. And usually that means hands above the head. You saw good form. Good concentration, bringing the ball in.
Good shot of Emily right there. She's been able to make some big saves tonight. A couple of shots. Didn't matter who would be in goal. They were going to score. Because a little bit of a defensive breakdown on a couple of the goals for St. Charles tonight. And Ann Poulin, in one instance, just wide open, right in front of the box.
And she's not going to miss many of those shots.
No.
You give her 3 of those, she's going to have 2 goals.
That's pretty good odds. And again, St. Charles biding their time. The shot on goal. The Nikonchuk is there. 3-0, St. Charles. Almost. I don't want to put the whammy on there or anything, but almost ready to think about celebrating that 4th consecutive title.
Well, I wouldn't say they're in cruise control mode, but they certainly are playing with a lot of confidence right now and just not leaving themselves open to any mistakes.
And again, and Lincoln Way at this point, I would imagine Brian Papa maybe emphasizing to his players, you got to go all out. At this point, you have nothing to lose. Be as aggressive as you have ever been, and try to make something happen. Maybe St. Charles makes a mistake and gives it up at some point, and you get a chance.
He's a competitor. He's a battler, and he's certainly going to make sure that his Knights fight all 80 minutes tonight. And one thing to think about, too, the Saints have only allowed 1 goal in the tournament, so they're not used to having that happen to them. So you put one in the net, and who knows how they're going to react to it.
Throw in for St. Charles here. Joni Anderson, another one of those young ladies heading to Iowa. As they have quite a few players for St. Charles that'll be moving on to Iowa City next year. The shot just goes wide to the right. And Lincoln Away with the goalie kick. We'll try to get something going here. But time is running out on the Lincoln Away Knights. Regardless, though, Steve, it's been a great year.
It really
I don't think, having followed now for the last couple of weeks seriously in girls soccer in high school, I don't think a lot of people thought Lincoln Way was going to be playing this game tonight.
Well, I think at the beginning of the season, they were certainly favored to be one of the top teams. However, when the losses started to pile up, I'm sure there were second guessers out there who said, well, maybe it's not the Knights' year. So all the credit to Brian Papa and his program turning that around and sustaining a really good effort throughout the season.
Well, contact here. Watch this. Watch this. Wham! And Poland.
Well, one thing they do, coach, at St. Charles is to tackle hard. You always go in strong for the tackle, not to try to intimidate or injure your player, but you're really protecting yourself. If you go in hard, try to win the ball, but really make your body firm, you're not going to injure yourself, and that's basically what happened there. She went in very strong. In that particular case, did not win the ball, so a free kick was awarded to Lincoln Way, but certainly she was not deliberately trying to injure the player by any means.
It's still good aggressive play, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing, you know, intentional. Not trying to have any type of injury. Actually, Stormo with a relatively easy save there. And the free kick. You know, it's no wonder goalies make terrific punters. I mean, obviously, the form it's the same form and everything else. But it truly is, it's amazing how far some goalies can kick it. 20 minutes, just about, and counting. For the state high school championship, St. Charles in command and with possession. Back to midfield. And now St. Charles has it deep in Lincoln Way territory. And some contact, and we'll go to a break. We'll be back. St. Charles up by 3. This is Fox Sports Net Chicago. Back to action. Clock winding down for Lincoln Way, and it just cannot tick fast enough for St. Charles. Steve Olkin, Steve Davidson, Naperville Central, and here's the header, and goes into the goalie box and then knocked away.
Well, that's a very disheartening situation when you have not one but 3 St. Charles players chasing down that loose ball, and really no one chasing after them from Lincoln Way. So the very long cross past the far post. The header, and you can see right behind her 2 other teammates waiting to pounce on that ball as well. So that may be a sign that Lincoln Way is seeing the writing on the wall and is getting tired of chasing the Saints all over the field.
You see Becky Myers, number 10. And what a career she has had. How about going through your entire high school career and winning a championship every year?
Set a school record for assists, 7th in her graduating class.
That's pretty good, you know. I mean, when you think about as you enter high school, here's a shot by Myers and it goes just wide. When you think about entering high school, and I think Becky Myers, from everything I was reading, was just trying to make the team. Well, she made the team all right, getting a state championship in all 4 years of high school. Something that, of course, she would just smile about throughout her entire life.
Well, anytime you can contribute to a program like St. Charles before your senior year, you know you're certainly at the top of your game. And they've got a very deep bench, a great program. They've got a JV program that you know, could certainly serve as a feeder to next year's team, as well as when the schools split into 2 programs.
And Poulin there.
Upset the apple cart on the head ball.
Well, she's another fine player, and the best news for Joe Moreau is she's coming back next year, as are 14 other members of the St. Charles Fighting Saints team. Now that to me is amazing. That you know, year after year, they keep developing great players, and while they lose some of the stars, and while they go on and do hopefully good things for themselves in college, they still have another crop. And say that, you know, the junior varsity and freshman class coming in, they just keep going and going. And St. Charles is heading to another state championship. Lincoln Way trying to make something happen. And for the most complete coverage and up-to-date information on your favorite Illinois high school team or athlete, log on to the official IHSA website at www.ihsa.org. I have been on that for the last couple of weeks.
A lot of information on that website.
Following girls high school soccer. Absolutely. And the best part about that is it is updated. I mean, it's there. I was on last night, and I got all the information on the quarterfinal matches from Friday.
Marty Hickman and his staff doing a great job keeping the media and the public informed. And some great games this weekend here in Naperville.
And nice to see a good turnout, too. A terrific crowd on this Saturday night. near side bleachers just about filled to capacity, and they've been able to watch the juggernaut Fighting Saints from St. Charles do their thing. A couple of goals in the first half, and Poole again here in the second half, and it has been all St. Charles. And again, virtually from the opening kick. A little bit of contact on the far side.
This is going to bring up another cross situation where the Saints will be looking to send the ball deep towards the far post, and they'll have several players breaking off the ball, trying to free themselves to win a head ball and put it on goal.
Inside of 16 minutes remaining in regulation. And the way it's looking right now, we will not have any overtimes. I guess in the state final, we can go up to 4 overtime periods.
In theory, we could be here for a while, but not tonight.
There's the free kick that went wide. And Lincoln Way to bring it the other end.
Mary Jo Kohler, number 12, entering the lineup for Lincoln Way. And leaving the field is Kim Jedlow for Brian Papa's team.
Is that an indication of the white towel?
I don't know with 15 minutes that it's the white towel, but it's a nice gesture to get some of the other players into the game, into the state final. They can say, yeah, I was there. I got a few minutes. I contributed.
And down the field we go.
Patrice Fulner coming back onto the field for the Saints after getting a nice rest, and she gets a nice ovation for the crowd.
And she did score that goal in the second half to make it 3-0. That was her 28th goal of the season. And again, a junior coming back to St. Charles. The Fighting Saints well on their way to their 28th win here in 1999. And that's just about par for the course for St. Charles when you talk about their yearly victories.
It's a nice year for Fulner as well. 28 games, 28 goals. Yeah. How did we do today? Oh, yeah, we won. Did you score? Yeah, I got a goal. Day in, day out, being able to contribute at that level. That's no small accomplishment, especially when you're going against some quality teams, and St. Charles certainly schedules its schedule aggressively so that they are ready for the state tournament by playing some top teams like a Lincoln Way, like outside of their conference, which is competitive enough, playing teams like Downers Grove South, some teams from out of state as well, going up against Fremd, of course, and there we take a good look at Janice Fulner.
Last year, St. Charles won the championship with a record of 29-0-1. In 97, they won with a record of 26-0-2. 96, 28-1. And now here at 1999, looks like the record will be 28-2-1. To wrap up, just an absolute amazing decade for this soccer program. 7 state championships this decade, and 4 in a row as they will try to defend that championship in the 1999-2000 school year. Lincoln Way trying to avoid the shutout with 13 minutes to go in the second half. But again, St. Charles, as it has been able to do virtually this entire match tonight, able to really thwart off any scoring opportunity, and not even able to let Lincoln Way get some good scoring shots.
And I think that last exchange was a very good example. The Knights working very hard to collect a couple passes in a row. St. Charles kind of just waiting back and deciding when they were going to react to intercept the ball. And then when they decided to push forward and take it away, quick counterattack, and they're back in control.
Well, St. Charles will just kind of buy some time a little bit. There's Fulner way on the far side as it goes out of bounds. The state championship, the award presentation will be following the game. And they'll have to make some more room in the trophy case at St. Charles High School.
Start making smaller trophies.
They can probably do that. They'll have to build another case, that's all. They could do that. As the ball goes out on the far side, inside of 12 minutes. Stephen Sieve, Olkin and Davidson, Naperville Central High School. We're on a what has really turned out to be a very nice, very pleasant Saturday night. And even more pleasant for St. Charles.
Well, it was very muggy for the semifinal game, so to have the sun dip and get a little bit of a breeze, I'm sure, is a welcome relief for these athletes.
Lincoln Way trying to make something happen. Trying to avoid the shutout.
That's a nice exchange.
That is. Action here on the near side. Kristen Jedlow. As she gets around. Looking for the centering pass. And it's deflected away by St. Charles and kicked right out of there.
And get a foul.
So as you can see, the clock winding down, 11 minutes to go. Lincoln Way came in 22-6-1. And again, if you had to put a favorite or an underdog situation on a match like this, certainly St. Charles would have been the favorite in this match tonight. Having been here so many times, this is Lincoln Way's first appearance in the state championship game. Was here last year, lost in the semifinals. And so when you think about, there's the pass inside, and McConchuck is there as Becky Myers was trying to get on the board before she wraps up her terrific high school career. Winding down to just about 10 minutes. And whistle. Players down for St. Charles.
Well, St. Charles came within inches of getting goal number 4. You see the throw in into the penalty area. Becky Myers chasing it down. Didn't get a lot on that shot. And that's not an easy ball to bring down, kind of extending her leg, trying to get her foot on it.
Good look at Becky Myers.
Hey, everyone.
And what a career she has had at St. Charles. I think she'll like Stanford, too. I have a feeling she's going to like Stanford. I don't necessarily think she's going to miss the snow in December. I don't think anyone missed the snow in December. That's a beautiful campus out there.
While you're shoveling, she'll be training on the beach.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to feel real good about that, by the way. And St. Charles. And again, we talked about it at the outset. If you are just tuning in, the Fighting Saints able to really control the tempo from, again, virtually the opening kickoff. They kept the ball in Lincoln Way's territory for the first 12 minutes with no score. Lincoln Way able to play some good defense.
One big save in that early exchange.
Yep. The Konchuk made a couple of nice saves, but then all of a sudden, you know, as you see in really any sport and whatever it is, football, hockey, whatever it is, when the ball in the possession just remains, in this case, Lincoln Way territory for St. Charles, eventually that ball is going to find a way to get through. And it happened a couple of times in the first half. And with a 2-0 lead at halftime, St. Charles able to really get going offensively and able to notch a big goal. Now here's St. Charles again.
Nice steal, Sarah Lynch, and a good cross.
And inside, the header goes wide. The Lincoln Way will have it. And again, at this point, the Lady Knights are just trying to avoid the shutout. Yeah, I think they'd like to leave this field. If they can make it a 3-1 final, whatever the case is, I think that would certainly give them a lot of confidence and a big boost heading into the 1999-2000 season.
Well, we've just been handed the Illinois High School Soccer Coaches Association All-Tournament team for this year, and really doesn't come as a big surprise. 4 St. Charles Saints are on it. Julia Kukaitis in the back, Ann Poulin, Sarah Lynch, and Becky Myers. Aileen Guiney, the Sun-Times Player of the Year from Naperville North, is joined by her teammate Shannon Grimley. Great season for the Lady Huskies. 2 players from the Knights, Anise Papke and Kim Jedlow. And Quincy's 2 players, Jenny Nobis and Lace Fuhrer. And actually a 5th Fighting Saint, goalkeeper Lexi Stormo.
Congratulations to one and all.
I have a horse.
And Aileen, my name is Guiney, you talked about, was injured, earlier today in the semifinal match?
Yeah, she had a very serious knee injury, a season-ending injury in the semifinal game. About 10 minutes left in the first half that occurred where she was just turning with the ball. It was not as a result of a tackle or a foul situation by a St. Charles player. And I think everyone on the field from both teams felt very badly for Aileen. A great season and very deserving of the honor of being a Sun-Times Player of the Year.
Patrice Follner, with the free kick. St. Charles looks to set it up. And the boot, the header, goes wide. And able to keep it in was Leslie Griffiths. And now it goes out.
One of the neat things about high school soccer as these players evolve and grow and move on to the collegiate game, we talked about the 4 Saints that'll be playing in the Big Ten for Iowa. Well, they're going to get to see Aileen Guiney again next year as she suits up for the Northwestern Wildcats.
Able to stay in town. Into the penalty kick area. And knocked away. 6 minutes to go for the 1999 state championship. And St. Charles on its way to another title. And Lincoln Way tries to make something happen here and get on the board. And again, don't forget, soccer fans, the Women's World Cup coming to Soldier Field later on this month. Leah Hamm and the U.S. team. As soccer continues to grow in this country. On the men's level, the women's level. And really on all levels in the kids. I see more kids now throughout the Chicagoland area playing soccer than I do playing baseball.
Well, even Cal Ripken of the Baltimore Orioles a few years ago when the Men's World Cup was coming to the United States said, you know, especially for the young kids starting up where you're not sure what sport you want to specialize in, it's a great sport because you really focus on your conditioning and your development and you use your entire body in soccer. And at the early age, that's exactly what these young athletes need.
And St. Charles with the rush. Yeah, the near side. Oh, look out there. Sarah Beebe. Throwing her hands.
I think she felt that she was held by Beth Barkas and just wanted to try to break free of the hold. And both players managed to screen referee Jim Mitchell from the play. And Jim's walking over now just to kind of put an end to this little discussion.
Here you see Jim Mitchell. Watch Sarah Beebe here. Let's see if you can see a hold.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Camera never lies, and there's a retaliation.
Good job, guys. You guys caught that one.
Jim just said, okay, let's slow it down a little. We've got 4 minutes to play, then it's trophy time for everybody. So let's just keep it friendly.
And that's a good job of Jim Mitchell there. You don't want to get anything out of hand at this point. I mean, basically the decision is fait accompli for St. Charles, so you don't want anything to happen here to ruin what has been a very good match tonight.
It really has, and you've got to commend both teams, the coaching staffs. These are quality programs. They're very focused on maintaining a very high level of competition and sportsmanship.
Play back into the center. Sarah Lynch for St. Charles and just bats it into the middle of the field. And some contact there up front. Jedlow trying to stay in her case a little bit.
Well, that's just a little sign of frustration there. 86 minutes, and I'm sure she's feeling a little tired. Just trying to plead her case a little bit.
Free kick for the Fighting Saints. Now let's see now. Are they going to do, take the big jar of ice water? There's the header that goes wide. Will they take the jar of ice water and throw it over the head of...
I think that's usually done after the first or second consecutive state title. I don't know what you do for a four-peat, but a very nice round of applause for Lexi Stormo as she leaves the game and is replaced by Mary Carpenter in the St. Charles goal.
Lexi Stormo, the sophomore, the goalkeeper for St. Charles. 2 more years. Boy, how about the luxury of having your starting goalie, who's now been involved in 2 state championships, and she's back for 2 more, maybe. That's a pretty good feeling it's got to be for the St. Charles program. And for Brian that's Lincoln Way, of course, for Joe Moreau. And the shot on goal and the save.
Well, it's great to see Lincoln Way battling all the way to the end, and you see on the sideline Lexi Stormo cheering on Mary Carpenter for making that big save in the St. Charles nets.
And Mary Carpenter right into the game, and she gets her first taste of action. Trying to keep this shutout going for the Fighting Saints. And they only have to handle play for 2:40. Here's a replay of the save for the backup goalkeeper.
Welcome to the game.
Yeah, that's right. It is. That's good play. She
Good
was
footwork.
able to follow that all the way and keep it in front of her nicely. And play will stop right there, and the free kick for Lincoln Way. And the header right back for the Saints. And now the Knights. Again, trying to avoid the shutout. And here is, once again, Larry Carpenter. As Lincoln Way was right on the tail, trying to get that 0 off the board.
That's a nice combination play by the Knights, and it's, again, great to see that they're going to battle all the way to the end tonight.
Less than 2 minutes to go. The crown of state champion in girls soccer for 1999. And the rush for St. Charles, and the pass into the center. And Lincoln Away. Maybe 1 or 2 more last-ditch efforts to get on the board. St. Charles will throw in front of their own bench. With 90 seconds left.
And give some credit to Brian Papa. He's got, it looks like, half the student council waiting to go in the game. And to his credit, that's great to get these girls an opportunity to play in the state championship game. Carolyn Anderson, Michelle Hall, Katie Siebert, Patsy Donahue all getting an opportunity to compete.
Well, they can say they were in it. And looking to say they're in, they'll be able to watch this forever. On Fox Sports Net Chicago. The tape's rolling, I'm sure, in many of the homes. And one last rush, maybe. Denise Peck. And the throw in for the Knights. They haven't given up, I tell you what. They are still out there hustling. There's the shot. And Carpenter another save. With less than 30.
Crowd on its feet, they're going to count it down.
No question about it.
St. Charles Saints are about to make history in the state of Illinois.
7 state titles in the 90s, 4 in a row to wrap up the decade. That is amazing. As you see the St. Charles bench, the fans of St. Charles, Joe Moreau and the Fighting Saints of St. Charles have won the 1999 Girls State Soccer Championship. Quite a run. 28-2-1. Brian Papa, Joe Moreau exchanging handshakes right there. There you see Lincoln Way. Tell you what, those young ladies have nothing to hang their heads about.
Absolutely, a great season. A little adversity with the 6 losses, but they really came on at the end strong. And to improve from a 4th place finish to a 2nd place finish, and I have a feeling we're going to see them back here in the Elite 8 next year.
We'll take a break and come back with